Good afternoon, your name?
Douglas Davis.
Mr. Davis, it's a felony file 231039 FY. I'm going to read it to you.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Darius here, appearing on behalf of Mr. Davis for the purpose of arraignment. We've reviewed the charge. We waive reading. It's asking that this matter is set for probable cause in prelim. He was screened for court-appointed attorney and does qualify.
All right. Don't quite have that yet, but I'm going to mark it on the sheet here. You have a protective condition of bond on this case. Do you wish to argue bond?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. And speaking with Mr. Davis, prior to being incarcerated, he has a good job at Key Gas. He also had a parole hold placed on him at this time. Given the potential that he could lose his job, we'd ask the court to consider reducing bond to $2,500 cash or surety. If that was the case, he would have a place to go stay with his mother, where he would not be in contact with the named complainant in this matter.
What's your bond on your parole hold?
I don't believe there is a bond. I got to meet with Andy Friday.
That's kind of how that works. I could give you a PR bond on this. You're not getting out of jail.
I do understand. I do understand that, Your Honor. I have spoke with Andy. He said he's coming to meet me Friday, and he's sounds like he's going to try and get me out of here. I got to be able to afford a bond, as of Friday, and I've spoken with my work.
I spoke to Andy too, and it does. I disagree with what I think is going to happen here. So we'll leave it at $10,000 cash or surety at this point. You're not to have any contact, direct or indirect, with Ms. Cross. You cannot go where she lives or where she works. You cannot consume alcohol or any other controlled substances. You cannot possess a firearm or any other dangerous weapon. You cannot leave the state of Michigan without permission from the court. You already have next court dates. You have a pre-exam on April 13th. You have a preliminary hearing on April 18th. That's courtroom B in front of Judge Belargin. You will get copies of those dates and times. You must show up for those dates and times. If you speak with Mr. Pearson and it does look like that you're going to be out on your parole hold, you certainly can address this bond. I think it's quite likely that it would get reduced to $2,500 at your pre-exam date. All right.
Okay.
You're all set.
All right. Thanks, sir.
Your Honor, 230953 FY. I'm going to read it to you.
Brittany Macadino on behalf of Mr. Gonzalez for the purpose of arraignment. We have reviewed the charging documents and we waive a formal reading. We did screen Mr. Gonzalez for indigency and have found him to be indigent, and we request that this matter be set for a probable cause conference and preliminary exam.
We got the three others, but this is the one that we didn't get. So I'll mark that, but we could resend it maybe.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We don't have the paperwork on file yet, but I will send it over as soon as I have it.
All right. So, sir, you are going to be represented by the public defender for this matter. I am going to set this as a protective condition of bond. Do you wish to address bond?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Gonzalez indicated to me that he had a stroke 2 weeks ago and he was supposed to have a follow-up appointment scheduled for today. So he's trying to get some health issues resolved. He's very adamant to prove his innocence in this case. He indicated that he's never missed a court date before and has reliable transportation to get to and from court. He also lives in Holland with his wife and his mom, and also has two sisters and a brother in the area. And he's been working at an excavating company, the same one, for 4 years. So we are just asking for a reasonable bond to be assessed in this case. Thank you.
I'm going to leave bond at $5,000 cash surety. This is a protective condition of bond, sir. In other words, you cannot have any contact with Eileen Gonzalez, direct or indirect. You cannot go where she lives or where she works. You cannot consume alcohol or any other controlled substances. You cannot possess a firearm or any other dangerous weapon. You cannot leave the state of Michigan without permission from the court. Do you understand those rules?
Yes, sir. May I say something, please?
Sure.
That is not me. That is my son they're looking for. That is not me.
I agree, sir. Your son is charged with worse crimes and has a bond way higher than this. But you were certainly part of this and you have the same charges on your record. So probably where you learned it from. This is going to be a pre-exam on April 13th and a preliminary hearing on April 18th in courtroom B in front of Judge Pilargen. You will get copies of those dates and times. You must show up for those dates and times.
Yes.
You're all set.
You can come back here and have a seat.
Thank you.
Hello,
Good afternoon. Your name?
Valentina Rodriguez.
Ms. Rodriguez, it's a felony file 231023FY. I'm going to read it to you.
Brittany Macadino on behalf of Ms. Rodriguez for the purpose of arraignment. We have reviewed the charging documents and we waive a formal reading. We did screen Ms. Rodriguez for indigency and have found her to be indigent, and we request that this matter be set for a probable cause conference and preliminary exam.
You're going to have the public defender represent you for the remainder of this case. Your bond is set in the amount of $1,000 cash surety. That's no drugs, no alcohol, no marijuana. Do you wish to argue bond?
Yes, Your Honor, this is the same instance. Ms. Rodriguez doesn't have any money or anyone available to help her with that bond. She told me that she lost her house in a house fire in November and has been living out of her vehicle since then. The car got impounded and with it, all of her belongings are in there. So she's worried about not
Did she
being
tell you
able-
she's out on bond for the same charge?
No.
Yeah. You have a pending case from 2022 for the same charges, right? You're out on bond for that when you caught this?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, so $1,000 cash surety is really low bond, given those circumstances.
Is there any way that we could do a 10% on that, Your Honor?
It is a 10%, ma'am. In other words, those cash surety bonds, the bondsman will only ask for 10% in cash. It's be 100 in
Is there
cash and the rest in.
Is there 10% that I could do from my end so I won't have to do a bondsman? I don't have anybody on the out.
No, ma'am, it would
that
have
would
to be
do a
cash
bondsman.
or surety through a bondsman. You already have next court dates. April 13th is your pre-exam.
I'm not-
April 19th is your preliminary hearing. It's in courtroom A in
Sir,
front of
everything I-
Judge Scott.
Everything I own.
Sir,
Sir,
ma'am, this is a
everything I
life
own is in
offense.
this.
You're a habitual offender fourth, not counting the open case you have. You have priors in 2019 and 2020. You're not on probation?
No, I'm not on probation, sir. I completed probation successfully. I'm
Your
not gonna
bond should
go
be
anywhere.
higher,
I'm gonna be
ma'am.
on my. There's no way, please, so we could just do 10%. Everything I own is in there. My
I'm
child- my
gonna
children's
make it
pictures.
higher if you say anything else, because I really think it should be higher. You're all set. It's a felony file 204039FY. I'm gonna read it to you.
Brittany Macadino on behalf of Ms. Kina for the purpose of arraignment. We have reviewed the charging documents and we waive a formal reading. We did screen Ms. Kina for indigency and have found her to be indigent, and we request that this matter be set for a probable cause conference and preliminary exam.
Okay. So it's my understanding that you will be represented by the public defender for the remainder of this case. Your bond is set as a cash-only bond in the amount of arrearage. That's $18,052. You already have next court dates. Looks like April 6th is a pre-exam. You have a preliminary hearing on April 11th. That's in courtroom B in front of Judge Pilargen. You will get copies of those dates and times. You must show up for those dates and times. If you're still incarcerated, when those dates come around, corrections will make you available. You're all set. Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
Christopher Terry, last name Terry, Terry.
Mr. Terry, it's a felony file 230455FY. I'm going to read it to you.
Brittany Macadino on behalf of Mr. Terry for the purpose of arraignment. We have reviewed the charging documents and we waive a formal reading. We did screen Mr. Terry for indigency and have found him to be indigent, and we request that this matter be set for a probable cause conference and preliminary exam.
So the public defender will be representing you in this matter. You wish to address bond?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Terry indicated to me that he turned himself in this morning and he wants to get this matter resolved. He is currently unemployed, but is doing a program with Michigan Works to get his Class A CDL license. Other than that, he's just on disability and unemployment, so he has fairly limited income. He also indicated that he has somewhere to stay that is not with the complaining witness and would have no problem abiding by a no contact order. He's also responsible for paying child support for up to 4 of his 5 children. So he's trying to get this licensing done so he can continue to do that. He has reliable transportation to get to and from court, and he indicated to me that he has never missed a court date. So we are asking for a PR bond in this matter. Thank you.
You're a habitual offender 4th, who's already, well, now accused of violating a restraining order that's already in place. So this is a life offense. You're not going to get a PR bond. Do you have a dollar amount you can make?
I'm not sure. I have like maybe $125 in my bank account.
Set this as a $2,000 cash surety. This is a protective condition of bond, meaning you cannot have any contact, direct or indirect, with Jacqueline. You cannot go where she lives or where she works. You cannot consume alcohol or any other controlled substances. You cannot possess a firearm or any other dangerous weapon. You cannot leave the state of Michigan without permission from the court. Do you understand and agree to those rules?
I agree to those rules.
We already have next court dates. They are April 6th for your preliminary exam, and then you will have a for a pre-exam. Preliminary hearing on April 12th. That's in courtroom A in front of Judge Scotchless. You will get copies of those dates and times. You must show up for those dates and times.
Okay.
You're all set.
All right, thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
Lester.
Mr. Hester. You have 2 files here. They're both felony files. Your new one looks like 230751 FY. We'll take care of that first.
Mariah Silverstein appearing on behalf of Mr. Hester for the purposes of arraignment. We reviewed the charges in both files and waive a formal reading. He does qualify for a court-appointed attorney, and we ask the matter be set for probable cause and preliminary examination.
All right. You do already have those dates. 4/6 is your pre-exam. You have a preliminary hearing on April 12th, courtroom A in front of Judge Scotchless. Because these events seem to have happened last year, I'm fine with, it looks like you have a $1,000 PR bond here. You understand that you are not allowed to have any contact with this person, right?
Yes, sir, 100%.
I'll keep it at a PR because it's so old, and you're telling me you won't screw it up anymore, right?
No, sir, at all.
All right, so those are your next court dates, the next times you need to be in court. Oh, for some reason, so you've never been arraigned on this old case either?
No, I
Same
didn't
charge,
know
but
new to
from
me.
a different date
I was
last summer as well?
unaware of it all.
All right, so we need to arraign you on 222415 FY as well. Did you get a chance to review this with your attorney?
I haven't been able to chance to review anything.
Mariah
until they told
Silverstein
me.
appearing on behalf of Mr. Hester. We reviewed this file as well and waive a formal reading.
All right, so oh, you've just been on warrant status all this time.
I was unaware.
Well,
Sure.
that's not conducive to you getting a PR bond. I'll change it. I'll put one of them at a PR bond, but this one will be a $1,000 cash surety bond. Sir, you already have a restraining order in this case, but because you haven't been arraigned before, I'm going to do a protective condition bond on this case as well. 222415 FY. Mr. Hester, your date of birth is February 1, 1990.
Yes, sir.
All right. So are you going to be able to make this bond?
I don't have any money on me, but I mean, I have family and stuff. I just haven't had a phone call since I've been here I should have no
Because
problem.
I can change your other bond to a cash surety bond if you don't think you're going to get out, so that at least you'll get credit on that case as well. Or I'll just leave it that you only have to make bond on one case. It's easier for you to make bond that way. You understand?
I'm sorry, I'm not understanding what you're saying, sir.
All right. So one of these cases, you don't have to make bond. You're already out on bond. The other case, you will have to make bond. You have next court dates. They're the same for both of these, April 6th and April 12th. But this says now you cannot have any contact, direct or indirect, with Kennedy Hansen. You cannot go where that person lives or works. You cannot consume alcohol or any other controlled substances. You cannot possess a firearm or any other dangerous weapon. You cannot leave the state of Michigan without permission from the court. Do you understand and agree to those rules?
Yes, sir.
All right. Anything further?
Nothing further. I'll send the form after the arraignment.
All right. Then you are all set, sir.
Thank you.
Jeanette Benedict.
Ms. Benedict, this is a felony file 230895 FY. I'm going to read it to you.
Brittany Macadino on behalf of Ms. Benedict for the purpose of arraignment. We have reviewed the charging document and we waive a formal reading. We did screen Ms. Benedict for indigency and have found her to be indigent, and we request that this matter be set for a probable cause conference and preliminary exam.
Right, so the public defender will be representing you for the rest of this case. Do you wish to argue bond?
Excuse me. Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Benedict indicated to me that she is about to start a new therapy program through her doctor's office, and she has some friends of hers that are going to be taking her in and drug testing her throughout the duration of the program. She also has several therapy dogs that she takes care of and who take care of her, essentially. She indicated that she's been doing Instacart and Shipt, so has limited income through that. And she also has reliable transportation to get to and from the court. So we are just asking for a PR bond so she can engage in this therapy program and better herself that way. So thank you.
Ma'am, did you forget you're already out on bond for a felony meth case?
Yeah, I'm aware.
All right. Well, you wouldn't get a PR bond when you're on bond and pick up a new felony that's a 20 year.
Yeah, I understand. My dog.
So $1,000 cash surety is very low bond for what you're charged with. You already have next court dates. You have a pre-exam on March 30th. You have a preliminary hearing on April 5th. That's in courtroom A in front of Judge Scotchless. You will get copies of those dates and times. You must show up for those dates and times. You're all set. You're all set.
Good.
Not Morgan.
Hello,
Good afternoon. Your name?
Morgan Demeray.
Ms. Demeray, this is a misdemeanor file 230896 SM. I'm going to go ahead and read it to you.
Brittany Macadino on behalf of Ms. Demeray for the purpose of arraignment. We have reviewed the charging document and we waive a formal reading. Ms. Demeray wishes to plead not guilty at this time. We did screen her for indigency and found her to be indigent, and we ask that this matter be set for pre-trial and trial.
Ma'am, do you still have a pending felony case?
I do not think so. I think right now I have
Okay,
a
what happened
probation
to it?
violation.
What happened to your
I'm
felony
on-
meth case from last year?
Oh, yes, I still have that. I was put on probation. My probation officer, I have an arraignment tomorrow for a probation violation. She's trying to send me to rehab.
So
Which would
you're
be-
not gonna get out of jail even if I give you a PR bond, right?
No,
All right.
I
Do you
wouldn't, not
still
today.
want it as a PR bond, or would you rather have me put it as a low cash surety so you're getting credit? I'd do it either way.
I'd rather have a PR bond, sir.
All right. So this will be a $500 PR bond, but it is a protective condition of bond, meaning that you cannot have any contact, direct or indirect, with Robert Demaray. You cannot go where that person lives or works. You cannot consume alcohol or any other controlled substances. You cannot possess a firearm or any other dangerous weapon. You cannot leave the state of Michigan without permission from the court. You understand and agree to those rules?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Then you will get
I have
a
a
new
question.
court date. Yes?
My belongings are all at my father's house still, and the electricity bill is in my name. He also has food stamps in my name. I don't know
Okay,
what I
those
have
are
to
all
do to get
questions
that.
for your attorney, ma'am.
Okay,
You should not go over there even to get your possessions without law enforcement present. You're the one that would get in trouble, okay?
okay.
You're gonna get a court date in courtroom B in front of Judge Pilar. All right, we are ready on this one. This is file 230481 FY. Sir, in jail, your name, please.
James, up here.
Right, I'm gonna go ahead and read this to you. This says that on or about October 11th of last year, while in Watson Township, Allen County, state of Michigan, you did buy, receive, possess, conceal, or aid in the concealment of a Chevy Suburban stolen vehicle when you knew or had reason to know it was a stolen vehicle. That is a 5-year RNC of stolen property, punishable by up to 5 years and/or $10,000. However, you are a habitual offender third, meaning you have at least 2 prior convictions. October 2019, possession of methamphetamine out of our circuit court. That same date and time, attempt R&O out of our circuit court. Therefore, you could be looking at 10 years on count 1. Do you understand the charge?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because that's felony, you do have a right to the assistance of an attorney. Are you going to be requesting services of public defender?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I'm assuming that paperwork will come. Were you able to determine whether or not he qualifies yet?
Your Honor, I did. He does qualify for a public defender, and I apologize. I attempted to send it over to the district court and it got kicked back. So after the hearing, I'll make sure the court gets the paperwork, but he is qualified and approved for a public defender.
Well, I'm sensing that you might be in Lansing, Michigan.
No, I'm just working from home today. Why do you say that?
Because I thought my wife, who's in Lansing today, said, "Do you know Amanda Mitter?"
Oh.
Were you there by Zoom?
No.
Well, we'll have to get to the bottom of it. All right, but that's neither here nor there, Mr. LaFleur. So I'm assuming that you will have the public defender represent you in this matter. Your bond on this case is set in the amount of $2,000 as cash or surety. You wish to argue bond?
Yes, Your Honor. My client would ask the court to consider giving him a PR bond with tether. He has made me aware that he is currently in on a $25,000 bond on another case pending sentence. I explained to him the whole process of him getting credit if he doesn't have a PR bond. However, he's hoping to bond out on that other case and would ask the court.
Did he tell you how many other cases he's already out on bond? This will be now the 3rd felony he has pending and 1 misdemeanor. So
he tells me as other
PR situation anymore.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He did want me to mention a hernia surgery he's trying to get out to get taken care of as well.
All right. I would leave this at $2,000 cash surety, sir. That's actually a low bond considering you're out on a felony larceny, a felony R&O, a misdemeanor retail fraud, and now this case. And you're not on probation from your 2019 convictions, correct?
Correct.
All right. So you already have next court dates. You have a pre-exam February 23rd and a preliminary hearing on March 1st. That's in courtroom A in front of Judge Scotchless. You will get copies of those dates and times. You must show up for those dates and times. And with that, we are all set.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, my
Now
wife,
I'm
for some
wondering-
reason, she's at Michigan State, somewhere right around. All right, in jail there, your name, please.
Rochelle Cooley.
All right, Ms. Cooley, this is misdemeanor file 230262 SM. I'll read it to you.
Brittany Macadino on behalf of Ms. Cooley for the purpose of arraignment. We have reviewed the charging document and waive a formal reading. Ms. Cooley wishes to enter a plea of not guilty today. We have conducted a screen for indigency and found her to be indigent, and we request that this matter be set for pre-trial and trial.
All right, so the public defender will be representing you in this matter. Did you have the traffic matter as well, or just the trespass?
Yeah, that traffic one I already pleaded guilty to.
No, I'm actually speaking with your attorney at this point.
I did not receive a ticket for the traffic violation. We just have the trespassing.
I'll read it to you, ma'am. It says on January 19th of this year on Allegan Street, Otsego Township, that you drove without or improper lights. That's a civil infraction, not punishable by jail time, but punishable by fines and costs. Do you understand the charge?
Yep.
Do you wish to enter a plea of guilty or responsible or not responsible to that at this time?
Responsible.
So $100 fines and costs. All right, right on here, you have 90 days to pay. You're already out on bond, aren't you?
Yeah.
Felony case?
Yep.
So what do you want to do? Keep getting PR bonds and keep picking up cases? Or do you want to hang out in jail for a while?
No, I'd rather just get out.
We'll set it at $300 PR bond. I'm going to release you. I'll tell you this right now, Ms. Cooley, because this is a trespass, I gave you a PR bond. If you came in front of me in front of anything else, you would not get out of jail. This is a really long record of things, and I know that you're not paying on any of them. All right?
All right.
Stay out of trouble. You're going to get a next court date in courtroom A in front of Judge Scotchless. That will be given to you before you leave jail, but you're all set for now.
All right, thank you.
Good afternoon, your name?
Michael Young.
All right, Mr. Young, you got two things here. One is an old case. Let's do your new case first. This is file 223430FT. I'm going to read it to you.
Brittany Macadino on behalf of Mr. Young for the purpose of arraignment. We have reviewed the charging document and waive a formal reading. We have screened Mr. Young for indigency and found him to be indigent, and we request that this matter be set for a probable cause conference and preliminary exam.
Okay. Did you say the public defender is going to represent him? We just didn't get the form yet, so just make sure you send that in.
I will send that. Thank you.
All right, so public defender is going to represent you. You have a bond here in the amount of $3,000 cash surety. Do you wish to argue bond?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Young, he lives with his grandparents and has 2 kids who stay with him a week on, a week off. He is also, or I'm sorry, we'll just leave it at that. So we're just asking for a reasonable bond in this matter. Thank you.
Okay. Well, you had 6 warrants out when you picked this case up. Do you have other places to go?
What do you mean? Like,
Other counties you have to answer other warrants for.
Oh,
I just mean if you're gonna be bouncing around from county to county dealing with those warrants, you just want your bond to sit at 3,000 cash surety anyway, so you get credit on this case. I'm not really inclined to change the bond given the circumstances, but you have other matters, right?
Allegedly, I'm fighting those because that's something, I've never been a violent person. I have no violent record or nothing. Like, and that's for domestic violence. Like,
Do you have a dollar amount you can make?
What's 1,000 cash surety?
I'll change this to 1,000 cash surety. It sounds like you have a lot of other things to take care of before you're out anyway. You already have next court dates. February 9th is a pre-exam. You have a preliminary hearing on February 15th. That's in courtroom A in front of Judge Scotchless. You will get copies of those dates and times. You must show up for those dates and times. You're all set. Good afternoon. Your name, sir?
Michael Young.
You know, Mr. Young, when I let you out on a PR bond yesterday, I didn't know you had a simultaneous offense also for fleeing that you had already sort of waved over on but been charged with. This now is a different and let's call it 3rd pending felony case, 230376 FY. I'm going to read it to you.
Your Honor, I apologize. I have not had an opportunity to speak with Mr. Young yet because he was in a PV hearing until just recently.
That's fine. I'll read it to him. This says that on or about January 30th of this year in Hopkins Township, Allen County, state of Michigan, you did knowingly or intentionally possess methamphetamine, normally a 10-year. However, because you have a prior for drugs, December of 2016, this is now a second or subsequent offense, meaning it's now punishable by 20 years. And you were also habitual offender 4th notice, meaning you have at least 3 prior felonies. That is last year for possession of methamphetamine out of our circuit court, 2021 for possession of methamphetamine out of our circuit court, and 2019 for attempt possession of methamphetamine out of that last one, also our circuit court. So therefore, you're looking at life incarceration on this file. Do you understand the charges?
Yeah.
All right, because that is a felony in count 1, you are entitled to a representation by an attorney. I do see here that you would qualify for and that the public defender will represent you on this case. You're also entitled to a preliminary hearing, which we are going to set for you. Your bond on this case is going to be set in the amount of $5,000 as cash or surety. That is no drugs, no alcohol. Do you wish to argue bond?
No, Your Honor.
You already have next court dates. You have a pre-exam on February 9th in courtroom B in front of Judge Belargin. You have a preliminary hearing on February 15th in courtroom A in front of Judge Scotchless. You will get copies of those dates and times. You must show up for those dates and times, but you are all set.
Your Honor?
Yes.
Hello, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. Your name, please.
My name's Patrick Givens.
All right, Mr. Givens, this is a misdemeanor 223599 SD. I'm going to read it to you.
Your Honor, it is my understanding that Mr. Givens was previously arraigned for this matter and that he missed a hearing date yesterday. And so this would be a show cause hearing.
Well, no, he was scheduled to be arraigned on January 11th. He failed to appear for that. And so we gave him 48 hours to not put a warrant out. He called in time, so it was rescheduled till the 30th, which was yesterday.
Right.
But he still failed to show up. So then his bond was changed to a $2,000 cash or surety. Warrant was entered into lien, and here he is. So he still needs to
yes,
be
sir.
arraigned on this?
Yes, sir. Yesterday, the only reason why I couldn't do my Zoom video appearance was because I went to probation yesterday in Ottawa County, and I was held there, and that's why I couldn't call yesterday. I was actually at Ottawa County probation and
All right, but
the
sir, you
jail.
still need to be arraigned on this, all right? What it says is on December 18th of last year on I-196 in Lake Town Township, Allegan County, state of Michigan, you're operating a motor vehicle either under the influence of alcohol or with a blood alcohol level 0.08 or higher. That's a misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days in jail and or $500 fines and costs. Do you understand that charge?
Yes, sir.
You wish to enter a plea of guilty or not guilty to that charge at this time?
Guilty, sir.
You wish to just set this for a plea of guilt?
Yes, sir.
All right. And so you're not asking for the public defender to represent you at plea and sentence?
No, sir.
All right. So I am willing to let you back out on a PR bond because you're telling me, of course, you're going to show up for this when it's time to show up for a plea, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Also, I'll revert the $200 cash surety bond to a $200 PR bond. That's no drugs, no alcohol, no marijuana, no driving without a valid driver's license. You understand and agree to those rules?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is this a good address for you on Butternut?
Yes, sir.
All right. So you will not be held in jail on this. You'll get a next court date to come in court, remain in front of Judge Scotchus and do your plea and get sentenced. But you're all set for today.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
All right, there in jail, your name, please.
Jason Frampton.
Okay, Mr. Frampton, you're here to be arraigned on a traffic matter. I'm going to read it to you.
Tess Rosser appearing on behalf of Mr. Frampton for the purpose of arraignment. We have reviewed the charging documents and waive a formal reading. He is entering a plea of guilty this afternoon.
Okay. Did anyone force you or threaten you or make you plead guilty to this, sir?
No, sir.
Are you pleading guilty to this because you believe you are guilty of this?
Yes, sir.
Were you operating a motor vehicle here in Allegan County back on November 18th of 2021?
Yes, sir.
And at that time, did you have a valid driver's license?
No, it was revoked, sir.
All right. So I do find that that is a factual basis to accept your plea and that your plea is knowing and voluntary. It will just be fines and costs at this point. What we mean by that is it's a $45 fine. With that is a statutory cost of $200, crime victims rates fee of $75, and a state cost of $50. So that is a total fine of $370. I'm going to write right on here, you have 90 days to pay that. If you need more time than that, that's okay. But you need to contact the district court and get put on a payment plan, all right?
Alrighty, sir. But I'm also gonna go to court for child support, and I don't know if I'll be able to get out or not. So
Okay.
I mean, I might get 93 days in jail. So I mean, if I am incarcerated, how would that work, sir?
That's fine, sir. When that 90 days is up, they would simply send a letter out to you haven't paid me. The fact that you're incarcerated is why you didn't pay. They would just sort of extend that out.
All right, thank you. That's all I need.
So
to know,
you're all
sir.
set with this misdemeanor, other than you get a new conviction and you owe $370, but you're not in jail on this.
All righty. Thank you.
am I done?
Yep.
Yep, thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
Richard Fountain Jr.
All right, Mr. LaFountain, you're here for a number of things. The first up is you have a new probation violation.
Yes, sir.
Gonna explain that to you. It says that you failed to appear for arraignment on January 19th of this year for a PV violation. The PV says that you failed to attend treatment by November 23rd last year, failed to report to probation in the month of November, and failed to pay fines and costs, and had made no efforts by that time in November. On this probation violation, first of all, do you wish to have an attorney appointed?
No, I think I'm good.
Do you wish to just go in front of the judge that you're on probation to enter a plea of guilty to this, or do you wish to set this for hearing in front of that judge?
I just the first option.
All right, so we'll set it for plea and sentence in front of the appropriate judge that you're on probation to. The bond on this case is a $1,000 cash surety. You'll get that next court date as soon as we can. Your other matter is also an older case, 221485. This is a misdemeanor case, but you have an open warrant on this because you failed to show up on this.
There was a mix-up in dates.
Got all the way to pre-trial.
I screwed up my dates on it. I missed it because of a clerical thing. I had it written down on the wrong date.
All right. So on this, we will set this for a new settlement date. Your bond on this one is in the amount of $3,500 as cash or surety.
Your Honor, is there any way I could get a PR bond for today? I have so many responsibilities out there that I need to take care of.
I just signed a new warrant for you. Did you forget about that? You are Richard LaFountain, right?
Yes, sir.
So if I gave you a PR bond on this, it'd be kind of useless if you got a new felony case coming down the line with a bond on it, right?
Yeah, I guess. I'm really confused right now, sir. I don't understand.
Yeah. You also didn't show up on this case multiple times. So I know a good way to make you show up because you're sitting in jail. You're sitting in jail on the PV anyway, right?
I understand that, yes.
I mean, I agree you have a lot of irons in the fire, but they're all your responsibilities. A lot of not showing up and not doing what the court wanted you to do, right?
I agree, yes. You're right, Honor.
Okay. So we'll reset this one for a settlement so you can get that done and decide whether or not you're going to go to trial or plea. That's on a domestic violence. And I do believe that your new case likely will be up tomorrow, I would suspect. But you're all set for today. Like I said, I think your new case came in too late for it to be up right now, but that means it'll just be up tomorrow. All right?
I'm good.
See you then. You all set?
I'm good.
Yep.
Box will go away in a few seconds.
Good afternoon, sir. Your name, please.
Daniel Patrick.
All right. Mr. Patrick, this is a felony file 230463FY. I'm going to read it to you.
Maria Silverstein appearing on behalf of Mr. Patrick for the purposes of arraignment. We reviewed the charges and waived a formal reading. He has been screened for indigency and qualifies for a court-appointed attorney. We ask this be set for probable cause and preliminary examination.
All right. So, Mr. Patrick, you will be represented by the Public Defender's Office for the remainder of this case. You wish to address bond?
Briefly, Your Honor, it's my understanding Mr. Patrick has a place to live that's not with the complaining witness in this matter. He just started a new job. It's my understanding he has no missed court dates and he has a way to get to and from court. So we ask the court consider that in setting bond.
Given the charges and facts of this case at this point, I am going to leave bond where it's at $100,000 cash surety. But at the next court date where the prosecutor would be able to weigh in, you're able to address bond at every court date that's up. So we'll leave that for next court date. It is going to be a protective condition of bond too, meaning you cannot have any contact, direct or indirect, with Ms. Lazan. You cannot go where she lives or where she works. You cannot consume alcohol or any other controlled substances. You cannot possess a firearm or any other dangerous weapon. You cannot leave the state of Michigan without permission from a court. Do you understand and agree to those rules?
Yes.
You already have next court dates. February 16th is a pre-exam, and then a preliminary hearing is set for February 22nd in courtroom A in front of Judge Scotchless. You will get copies of those dates and times. You must show up for those dates and times. If you're still incarcerated, corrections will make you available.
So I can't lower my bond right now?
What's that?
So I can't lower my bond right now?
What are you looking to lower it
There's
to?
no way I can make $100,000 bond right now.
Okay, is there a dollar amount you're looking for?
I can make like $1,000, like a $10,000 bond maybe. I can't make $100,000.
That would be real low for these charges. Like I said, we'll let your attorney and the prosecutor discuss bond at the next hearing. You all set? Good afternoon, your name?
Dimitri Galaviz.
Mr. Galaviz, this is a felony file 230894FY. I'm going to read it to you.
Brittany Macadino on behalf of Mr. Galvez for the purpose of arraignment. We have reviewed the charging documents and we waive a formal reading. We did screen Mr. Galvez for indigency and have found him to be indigent, and we request that this matter be set for a probable cause conference and preliminary exam.
I did not get a sheet for Mr. Galvez.
No PR.
I will.
Okay, so you will be represented by the public defender for purposes of this case. Your bond at this time is set in the amount of $1,000 as cash or surety. Already have next court dates. You have a pre-exam on March 30th in courtroom A in front of Judge Scotchless, and you have a preliminary hearing set April 4 in courtroom B in front of Judge Belargin. You will get copies of those dates and times. You must show up for those dates and times. You're all set.
Would it be possible for me to get a PR? You know, I have a job. I'm in a trade school.
Sir, aren't you on probation from this year?
Misdemeanor probation. I haven't been
That's
convicted
going to
of any
get
crime, so I have
violated
to
for
violate.
picking up a new felony as a habitual offender, sir. You're going to get
Yeah, but I
violated.
haven't been convicted of anything. I can't be convicted. I mean, I can't be. They can't violate me if I haven't been convicted of a crime.
That's not true, sir. You could talk to your attorney about it.
I thought that was the case. I thought that they couldn't violate me on my
No,
probation.
sir, you're not even allowed to get arrested. You could get a probation violation for being arrested, not even.
I understand that.
Probation's different than not on probation.
Well, I understand. I've been on parole too. You know, I came in here on cases on parole, and I couldn't get convicted. The violations on parole because I haven't been convicted of a crime. I'm not guilty yet. I'm still presumed innocent. So how am I even be?
But you are a habitual offender who picked up a new felony while you're on misdemeanor probation. Your bond should be a lot higher than $1,000 cash surety. If you want to keep talking, we can readdress it, but there's no way it would be a PR bond, sir.
All right. So do we have any information about my violation?
No, sir. You'd have to talk to your probation agent.
All right.
You're all set.